Ooh, a reinvented man. Let's see what he can tell us about being a man. With what seems like a never-ending push to eliminate traditional masculinity, you will find 1,000 articles on manliness on the internet. Most of these are written to train men rather than teach real virility. Our young men are being brainwashed into weakness. A weak man is easy to control. They are being taught to be servants. Out of frustration, I decided to look at it from another angle and discuss things a man should never do. Understandably, some of these may sound trivial, but I want to establish a theme of strength and honor. Of course, there are more than 10 things a man should not do. I can write a book on what behaviors men should avoid. These are just some of the things I have been pondering. We need to do better or we risk becoming extinct. A lot of guys are buying into this idea of modern masculinity because they are lazy. It is more comfortable than the alternative. It may be easier to watch The View, which is that still on? Is that whatever? And have dinner ready for your wife when she gets home, but that is not how men are built. Real men don't cook. Fuck you, Gordon Ramsay. What is going on in Western society today is sad. Too many of us are letting our laziness and impulses rule our behavior. It might sound like hyperbole to write, but I think the future of society is at stake. Do not make any mistake about it. Those in power want us weak. Livestock are easily ruled. Therefore, there is a push to make men sheep and have them cook and watch The View. 1. Wear a jersey or be addicted to sports. Same thing, I guess. I lump these two together because they are related, although each could technically get their own section. Unless you are a 10-year-old boy or on a professional team, there's no way in hell a jersey should find its way onto your body. I love these guys that walk around with a Tom Brady jersey on their back. They are commonly a 250-pound, out-of-shape 40-year-old man who's never played a down of football. When you put a jersey on your back, you are telling the world that you idolize another man. Many times this person you are bound down to is his late teens or early 20s, mentally a child. It's bad enough people worship kids playing a game, but they announce it to the world. You are telling everyone how much you look up to another because he plays a sport well. Why don't you bring this guy in to sleep with your wife, tape it, play it for your friends and coworkers? Follow in a relationship. Ignore this advice at your own peril. If you do not lead in your marriage or relationship, you will lose your partner. Take it from me. I lived this mistake. It's the world's smallest violent, whatever. Do not pay attention to the popular nonsense out today. A man needs to be the head of the household. Unfortunately, the majority of men today do not lead because they are A, voluntarily giving away their power, or B, lazy. Ugh. Women respect strength. I know the Huffington Post will say that I'm spewing out toxic masculinity because they totally are going to report on this blog. But being overly emotional or showing signs of weakness will doom your relationship. Doom! You need to take the lead in the decision making. I'm not saying ignore your wife's input, but, remember it's not important. Anyway, even something as small as what do you want for dinner or what movie shall you see that is not formatted correctly. Those are two separate questions, two separate quotations. It doesn't matter. Be decisive. No matter how equally a woman wants to be perceived, leadership and strength naturally breed attraction. Lose that and you lose your relationship. What in the absolute fuck is this thumbnail?
Imagine being born as a man, the
Oh
greatest
God,
gift
imagine.
on planet Earth,
Yeah.
and just wasting that potential away. It's the most
Wow.
ungrateful thing a man could ever
Thank
do.
you, AI
I will
creators.
tell you 9 things a man should never do, but let
Okay.
me warn you.
What did I
If you are a man-child, a beta male, or a simp, you will get triggered by this video.
What did I load
Number
into
1.
my
Joking about your dreams and goals.
never joke?
Having a sense of humor is important, and we should all know when not to take ourselves too seriously.
Thank you, Jojo.
But there are some things you should never make jokes about.
Thank you, Conan.
One of those things is your goals. If there's any
What if
big
my
goal
goals
you
are to
have
be
in life, don't
comedian?
joke about it. That is a coping mechanism because you are unsure of yourself. Or because you try to make other people with mediocre minds feel comfortable around your big dreams.
Again, what if my
Listen to me.
What if my goal
Never
is to
joke about your goals.
For a
And
living.
never let others make fun of your goals either. I remember when I was joking around with a friend about different things. But he got
This
too
is AI
comfortable
voice.
and started to make a joke about my goals. The moment
you.
he did that, my demeanor changed
Oh
instantly.
my God,
I looked him dead in the eye and told him to never do that again. He apologized,
why can't you just
and
read
he
this
never
yourself?
did. You see, if people don't support your goals and dreams, the bare minimum they should do is shut up. I don't care if
you.
it's your best friend or your family.
Never
What you
joke
want out of life
without
is not something to laugh at. Respect
that-
yourself and your goals. Number 2, always surrounded by others. The reason why most guys waste their potential away is because they can't be alone. They are either surrounded by mediocre people or
Femboy.
are always looking for a girlfriend to prevent them from being
Never winning.
alone. Listen, as a man, you need to be able to go to places alone. You must know how to sit in your own solitude. Even
Yes.
if you are surrounded by great high-level people,
High
you
level.
still need to go to places alone sometimes.
100.
It doesn't matter if it's going to the movies alone or going to a different country. Being in solitude gives you time to think, to
you're at the
meditate,
movies, you're not
and be
alone.
with your own thoughts. Average-minded people will call you strange. They may even
Average-minded.
laugh at you, but it doesn't matter. The greatest asset you have is your own mind. And if you can't go
And
to
being
places
buff.
by yourself and be at peace with your own mind, you have already lost.
Wah, wah.
Number 3, always alone. This may sound contradictory to the previous point,
Wojak.
but it isn't. You need to be able to find peace in solitude, but you also need to surround
this
yourself
Wojak?
with like-minded brothers. The idea of being a lone wolf is a fool's game, and I
Yeah,
say this
technically,
as someone
not a
that
real
has
thing.
been a lone wolf for most of
Right.
his life.
Lone wolves aren't.
Men
They don't
need
do well.
brothers around them. It makes us better in
But
every
alpha wolves
way.
aren't real either.
Most guys cope with reality. They call themselves Sigma because they lack the ability to network with others. These
Wow.
guys fail to understand that
Wow.
although it's necessary to be self-sufficient, it's also necessary to connect with other men. Solitude and brotherhood can perfectly coexist in
brotherhood.
peace. Listen to that again. Solitude and brotherhood can perfectly coexist in peace. And you need
Moderation.
both to become the best version of yourself.
Hey,
If you
Marvel,
are
we can't
alone
have
right
Marvel.
now and have no brotherhood, I suggest you join
The
our
Guardians
free
of the
Discord
Galaxy is
tribe
good.
in the description down below. It's a
plug the
tribe of
Discord.
40,000 men on self-improvement, always looking
Discord
for ways
plug,
to
Discord
become
plug.
better. Number 4,
I
listens
don't
to
have a Discord
influencers.
server.
There is much information online, but But you should never blindly listen to
but with Andrew
anyone.
Tate,
You will see guys like Andrew Tate say you shouldn't read books, and many fanboys follow that advice. They don't analyze themselves and see that they weren't born with a chess grandmaster as their father, and they don't have the life experience of someone like Tate. So how could you follow that advice? This was just an example, but it applies to any online advice. Always
thank you.
analyze yourself and your own life before seeing if the advice even applies to you. Because even
I
if
don't
someone
think
has good
Andrew
advice,
Tate's
if
advice
it doesn't
applies to
apply to
anyone.
your life and circumstances, it becomes bad advice for you as an individual.
So they can't
Number
go
5.
vote too
Feel
much hate at
guilty
Tate.
for being ambitious.
I mean, that's true.
There's a lot of people that feel guilty for having big goals. The reason for this is because their family and friends never achieved anything
I
big.
mean, that is a thing.
In
Sour
fact,
grapes.
no one around them has achieved anything. That's why they constantly cope with reality. They say things like, money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy. It's very hard to be ambitious if everyone around you is saying garbage like this to cope with reality. But at the same time, you must not let it get your spirit down. Just make sure you don't discuss your goals with these types of people, because they are not like-minded.
Just an asshole.
You can
and
still
ambitious.
love them, but protect yourself from their limiting beliefs. Number 6, excessive emotional attachment. Everyone feels some sort of attachment to people, things, or places. After all, if you have something good in your life, it makes sense that you feel resistant to losing that person or thing. But the dark
gotta be like a
reality is
Jedi.
that you are going to lose people in your life. It can be your mother, your father, or your best friend. And it can happen when you least expect
Why the
it.
Wojak?
I'm not saying this to make this video dark or have you become
What is
worried.
with the music, by the way?
Rather,
It's just
I'm saying this to prepare
this is
you
11
mentally.
minutes long. I
The
cannot.
worst pain is seeing the person you made memories with turn into a memory. And yet, you must be prepared to take that pain, because we will all experience it sooner or later.
Oh my
You
God, this
can't be
music.
so emotionally attached that losing someone destroys your entire life. I've seen many guys that lost someone, and they haven't recovered from it ever since. I'm talking about guys
truly
full of
do.
potential that were just destroyed for years. You must be prepared for what's about to come. Will it still hurt no matter how well prepared you are? Of course it will. You're human, and it's a person you love. But being hurt and being destroyed are two
Thank you,
different
AI.
things.
Just
Death comes for
this
us
is not
all.
the thing to be delivered
Always
by an
remember
AI
that.
voice.
Number 7, simp. Deep down, every man knows he should not simp, and yet
Simp.
most guys still simp for girls. The
Some simp
moment
for
a beautiful
guys.
woman walks into the room, their entire demeanor changes. You will see their eyes change, and they become
change.
desperate.
Oh no.
Sometimes I think being a simp runs in their blood, because no
Whoa.
matter how well guys understand they should not simp, they still
Do
double
not
text
simp.
girls
Squirrels in my
like a
pants.
worm. Listen,
Would you still love me
simping
if
may
I were a
seem
worm?
funny, but it's actually a very serious lack of respect you have for yourself. And there is nothing funny about lacking self-respect. On top of
It's
that,
also
a
sometimes kinda
simp
creepy.
can't be trusted. They are the type of guys that will hook up with the ex of their own friends. Number 8, letting yourself get bullied. When
Yeah, this
most
was on that
people
other
hear
list, but I
bullying,
didn't read it
they
'cause
think of
it was
school.
bully. It
But
was
the
boring.
reality is that bullying happens at all ages and in thousands of different ways. It can be constant passive-aggressive comments made by a family member or someone you work with that's embarrassing you in front of other colleagues. Maybe a friend that jokes about you in front of girls to make himself look good.
Oh no.
Whatever it is, recognize that they
I've
are
never
trying to
watched
bully
Friends.
you and step up to it. You absolutely have to embrace confrontation if you want bullying to end.
Oh.
And here's the beautiful thing about stepping up to bullies.
There's
You're
a
not
remake
getting
of
into
Karate
100
Kid. Why not
fights
the original?
or even 10 fights. No, if you do it
Why not?
correctly, you only have to do it
Whatever.
once.
Do it
However,
once.
if you allow bullying to take place, you are going to get terrorized more than 100 times.
More than
So
100.
embrace the confrontation, and you'll get the reputation as someone that doesn't back down. Number 9.
Oh, we're
Talk
almost
too
done.
much. When you come across a successful person, do not talk too much. Ask. Most guys try to impress others. They don't know their place on the
don't-
chessboard.
Why talk too
It
much?
is all ego, and
Oh,
it
no.
keeps them away from learning things. If you come across a successful man,
people are just
be
chatty, though.
respectful and ask questions. Why? When you ask and listen more, you not
Yeah,
only
listening
learn a
is
lot,
good.
but the other person is going to walk away finding you interesting.
Some
You see,
people.
most successful people come
I'm
across
warning you.
nobodies that talk a lot. They instantly write them off in their head. But when they
is
meet
that
someone
true?
that's respectful and willing to listen and learn, it leaves a good impression.
I don't.
By the way, if you want to level up
Level
in
up,
life,
level
don't
up,
forget to show
level
some love by hitting the like and subscribe button.
Oh boy.
Until next time.
The bell. The bell. The bell. 5 things grown men should never wear. Okay. 5 tracksuits / jogging suits. You know who should be wearing jogging suits? People who are jogging. You know who always seems to be wearing them? Fat guys at the mall. Ugh. Unless you're actually exercising. Wait, I thought this was never wear, not wear under certain circumstances. Or here's a stretch. Running somewhere. You need to leave the tracksuits at the track. Same goes for people who wear sweatpants anywhere but at the gym or on the couch at home. Someone once told me that he wears sweatpants on the plane because he likes to feel comfortable. Well, if sitting in a chair, dressed like an adult who is able to function in society is such a chore, perhaps you don't need to be flying anywhere in the first place. And if a pair of jeans is that uncomfortable, you should just go ahead and move into the local Walmart. Ugh. Fanny packs. I got one of these as a gift in the early 90s. I wore it for about a week as a way to carry my Walkman. Ugh. Whenever I went for a walk, not wearing a tracksuit. I looked stupid. Probably true. So do you. You don't fucking know me. Stop wearing them. You have pockets for a reason. If you can't fit your keys in your pocket, you need either a briefcase or a messenger bag, or here's an idea, fewer keys. If you need to carry so many things with you at once that you need a special bag attached to you at all times, this article doesn't apply to you because you are a woman. Number 3, bolo tie. Excuse me? What the fuck did you just say about the bolo ties? If I can't dress like a fucking cowboy, then I'm done. I don't want to be a real man. Fuck you.